Right. Welcome into another day of our daily Devos in the Psalms. Pastor Rick here, and we are ready to jump into Psalm 98. Praise the King. And so it's going to be a great day because we're going to get to read about and process why we should praise the King, and then we get to go do it. So we got a little hat check in before we jump into that. Oh no, I got some kind of little dent going on here. You know, it's when you put your hat away and you put it in the wrong spot or whatever, and it gets a little squished sometimes. But 15 Unleashed from a youth conference back at our church in Portland. Shout out to the Manor House crew and what used to be called Generation Unleashed. So that was why it says Unleashed on there, and that was 2015. So, and I love orange. So, you know, you can see a theme going on from a couple of my hats. So if you just want to jump in with me to verse 1, sing a new song to the Lord. For he has performed wonders. His right hand and holy arm have won him victory. The Lord has made his victory known. He has revealed his righteousness in the sight of the nations. And if you think about back about a lot of the Psalms that we have read, and where David or whoever else was writing the psalm at the time talks about the enemies and they're mocking God and your God's not big enough and he's not strong enough, and so I feel like this is one of those where the psalmist is coming in and he's like, the Lord made it known that he's revealed his righteousness in the sight of the nations, and not just his righteousness but his right hand and holy arm that have won him the victory. And so because that right hand and holy arm are like expressions of like big strength, like our God is unlike any other. So it's like kind of this moment of justice for the psalmist to be like, hey, finally they're getting what they deserve because they mocked God, and God's not cool with it. God doesn't put up with you mocking him real well, So he's remembered his love and faithfulness to the house of Israel. All the ends of the earth have seen our God's victory. Let the whole earth shout to the Lord. Be jubilant, shout for joy, and sing. That's a lot of rejoicing. Let the whole earth shout to the Lord. Be jubilant, shout for joy, and sing. Sing to the Lord with the lyre and the melodious song. I mean, get down and worship the Lord already. With trumpets and the blast of the trumpet, shout triumphantly in the presence of the Lord, our King. So being in the presence of God is not just about, singing calm, happy worship songs, but it's about yelling, shouting, being so pumped and excited about the victory that God has won, or the victory that you are believing him for, that you're believing he's going to win for you. Because sometimes we just continue to walk in righteousness and integrity and we don't see it happen. But we have to keep confidently trusting in God that he's going to take care of us and that we're going to see justice prevail. Let the sea and all that fills it, the world and those who live in it, resound. Let the rivers clap their hands, and let the mountains shout together for joy before the Lord. For he is coming to judge the earth, and he will judge the world righteously and the people fairly. So we've seen this one before. So this is kind of one of those repeat it for emphasis sake. He's coming to judge the world. He's coming to judge the earth, and he will judge the world righteously and the people fairly. And so again, it's good to remind ourselves that this world here is not all we have. 2 Corinthians 4:18, that we want to focus on the things that are unseen, not just the things that are seen, because the things that are unseen are eternal. The things that are seen are just temporal. We need to remember that God's coming back to judge the world. And so we don't live sloppy. It's like Jesus talked about, if you knew when the thief was going to come, you'd be awake and you'd be ready. You'd be ready to take care of business. But he comes when you least expect him. And we need to be prepared. We need to be living our lives constantly ready for the return of Christ, because he's going to come and judge the world. So there you have it. Shout for joy because God, your God, is victorious. He has demonstrated his righteousness and his power to the whole earth. So stand in boldness and confidence and shout for joy, rejoice, be jubilant, sing to the Lord, use your instruments, the melodious song, the trumpets, the trumpet blast. Declare God's name, not just in the church, but amongst all the peoples. Because people need to know about the greatness of our God. People need to know about the joy that we have. We need to be those that boldly declare who he is and what an awesome God he is and what he has done in us and around us and through us. So I hope you're encouraged today. God bless you tons and tons, and I'll see you tomorrow.